we're looking at the role of pre-sales and how it can create a more efficient strategy for revenue growth. I'm joined by Dr. Tuuli Bell. Tuuli has worked in a wide variety of sales environments and currently operates the world's first pre-sales and sales consultancy in sustainability. So welcome, Tuuli.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
So can we start? What is pre-sales and why do businesses need it?
Pre-sales is also, in fact, known as sales engineering or technical sales or solution architecture. There's quite a few different names. And it's part of a sales function, but it looks at the technical aspect of sales. So, for example, if you sell a service or a software, you need a salesperson to actually close a deal. But the pre-sales person is a trusted advisor to the customer, and it's a really exciting role, but a very important one as well. So it really crosses the sales and the technical side, but it is part of the sales team.
Okay. And where is the distinction between pre-sales as a process and sales?
So in a lot of companies, they are a part of the same team. But the distinction is really that pre-sales people, a lot of them actually come from a technical background, and then they learn the sales skills on the way or through training. And it's actually a very important part of it, the sales part of pre-sales. But the distinction is really when you have a sales meeting, you normally have a salesperson and a pre-sales person, and anything to do with commercial is the salesperson who answers those questions, and anything that's to do with technical, the pre-sales person will answer that. And if then the pre-sales person doesn't know, then they will go back to the technical team, and that's also okay. Sometimes there is a lot of pressure on the pre-sales person to know everything about the technology, but because they have to know so much about sales as well, they won't know everything about the technology, and especially the deployments as well. So they need to actually know quite a few different fields and then cross them all in a one package, basically.
So it sounds like it's very much around technology. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. But also frameworks and industry knowledge and really putting their solution together.
Okay. And obviously sales is a function of revenue. What are the consequences of not having a pre-sales approach?
So in the companies that I've seen and worked with and worked for, where a pre-sales team or function doesn't exist, then what happens is when you sell a software or a service, then the delivery team doesn't necessarily they won't be necessarily able to deliver what was quoted by the salesperson, because the salesperson doesn't know the technology inside out. And it's not just about not knowing the technology, but knowing the best practice as well. So you might have 1, 2, or 3 different products that you could sell, and technically they might all be feasible, but the adoption of the technologies might not suit that particular customer.
Sure.
And so those are just some of the things that the pre-sales person will kind of guide the customers to choose the right product and choose the right service, and then occasionally also tailor the service and the product entirely, so kind of customize that service. And so the risks really to the business, if you haven't got a very good pre-sales team or any pre-sales capacity, is that you're actually selling the wrong thing. And what you'll then see when you're delivering that project, the project delivery team will be very unhappy because they really can't deliver what was requested.
Okay, that makes sense. And I guess finally, from a management perspective, who owns pre-sales and how should managing directors resource for it?
That's a really interesting question. So depending on the size of the organization, you might not have a dedicated team. So you might have a few people from the technical team who act as a pre-sales person or as a pre-sales consultant. And so in that case, the consultants are actually part of the technical team rather than the sales team, which makes it more interesting in a way and more difficult to kind of resource. And especially when you have a competing scenario where a technical consultant could either be a build workforce basically, on a daily rate at a customer site versus then taking them out for a day or two to deliver a customer demonstration or a sales meeting. So you really kind of have to balance those out. But if you don't have a good pre-sales person, you will jeopardize the entire sale. Or quite often, if you have use a technical person who doesn't have the sales skills, they might actually say something that's not, or say or do something at a sales meeting which doesn't conform to a normal sales cycle, or they might say something that would be okay to say during a technical phase, but not during a sales meeting because of the people present. So they might be in a way too technical focused for a sales meeting.
And I guess why that's the benefit of external advice like yours. So, well, many thanks to Dr. Tuuli Bell for talking to me today, and for those of you watching. For further advice on revenue growth and new business generation, see my YouTube channel or my webpage revenueworks.co.uk. And in the meantime, let's keep on growing.
Thank you.